So, have a sit and talk. Anything about, well, anything in the news or whatever you came down to speak about?
Okay. Well, I attended the Extinction Rebellion Day of Action yesterday.
Extinction Rebellion Day of Action.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that all about?
It's a group of people that have come together to decide that we need to act now to stop the climate crisis that's going to engulf us all and cause misery, starvation, hunger, wars, and the extinction of our race on this planet.
Okay, and that's due to man-made climate change?
According to the UN's IPCC climate report, the predictions for the next 12 years are dire. And I think that report is both credible and has ethos, because it has been put together by about 80 leading scientists from across the world, hired by the UN, to look at the top 6,000 climate reports that have been produced and published in peer-reviewed journals, to come up with a consensus on what our future looks like.
Haven't they made these alarmist reports before and been wrong?
No.
Wasn't it?
Can you give me an example that's one that's been made that's wrong?
It used to be called global warming, and then they changed the name because they realised that it wasn't just warming, it was cooling, and climate has always changed. Will always change. We're still emerging out of an ice age.
So that's a terrible analogy.
Which one?
The fact that climate has always changed, and yes,
it's
it
not
has.
an analogy; it's just a fact.
Well, it has. Yes, you're right.
And are we emerging from an ice age?
It's an analogy in terms of combating an argument about man-made climate change, and that may or may not have been your premise. I don't know. Maybe I interjected a bit early. But in particular, there's 97% scientific consensus that it's man-made, and that it's got incredibly worse in a contemporary history.
That man-made
climate change.
Climate change is getting worse because of man-made.
Yes, because of our activity. Because of our combined activity.
Which industries are the worst of the man-made contribution to climate change?
There's a list of the top 100 which actually contribute about 70% of global carbon. The number one I can remember, which was a Chinese petrochemical company. Followed number 4, I think, was a Chinese coal company. So only 7 or 10 companies 10 companies responsible for 71%. To break that down into industries like, I'm not an expert, so off the top of my head, I think concrete contributes about 16%. I know agriculture is a huge contributor.
That's what I wanted to bring up.
Housing and heating in the UK in particular is high up there.
I've heard that cows producing methane is worse than the oil industry.
Yes, every molecule of methane is equivalent to about, again, don't quote me, but it's exponential. It's about 1,000 molecules of CO2.
Wouldn't we be better off telling people to become vegetarian rather than stop driving big cars?
Yes. Well, you need to do both, but yes.
To do both. Okay.
But yes, we need to amend how we treat our food.
Because the climate change mindset or the argument seems to always focus on the oil and gas rather than, as you said, the beef industry, the food industry.
There is a lot of discussion about the farming and food industry, and there's lots of Netflix documentaries that people have watched about, again, even if you just swap your beef burger for a chicken burger, it makes a massive difference. Massive difference.
Step in the right direction.
I grew up on a small holding, and I'm not particularly against eating meat. We used to keep our own animals, and we grow them from babies, slaughter them ourselves, and eat them. And that kind of connects you to the mortality of an animal and the gift that they might give you if you're going to eat them. It takes work and it's special. You can get something in plastic that you have no idea where it comes from. You're not connected to it at all. And even as a farmer, I'm shocked at the industrial scale farming of the beef industry in, say, Australia, where they shepherd 1 million cattle with helicopters and have rows of industrial machinery feeding antibiotic-laced food. and they have cancerous growths in me, and then you slaughter this en masse, and you're quite correct, that is an unsustainable way of us producing our food that is contributing massively to climate change. And we can do that differently. We can change our lives without too much effort. Meat a couple of times a week, plenty of fish, have your beef once a week, have a steak, no problem.
And the bottom line, if we don't do something, the climate will change to what? What will
irrevocably. Irrevocably.
And it will be too hot.
So we're approaching a point where there will be such massive geological change within our atmosphere and on our planet that it will be absolutely beyond our means to control. So what's happening on our current rate of pollution, of CO2 in particular, we are predicted to, by the IPCC report, to reach a change in about 12 years' time, about 2.5 degrees, which is cataclysmic. Because what that does, that results in the acidification of the oceans and kills an awful lot of life in the oceans. All our coral reefs will be gone. We will structurally change the biosphere, the biology, and our food chain.
Why do you care about that? Just to break it down.
Yeah, why do I
really
care?
Simplistic.
Why do I care? Because life is an amazingly special thing. There's people who talk about, well, the planet will go on, life will go on, why are we special? And these are all true, the planet will go on, the ocean will turn to soup.
Right, yeah.
No, the ocean will turn to soup and there'll be amoebas
so
again.
One day the sun will engulf the earth.
That's in a couple of billion years,
But
whatever it might be.
If this is in a couple of hundred years...
But why it matters to me is it's very immediate, very urgent. I think we're special, people are special. And to quantify that, it's not about us as a race owning anything. We're stewards for the future. We don't inherit the earth to do with what we will. We steward it for future generations. And every decision should be based around, is it good for the children? And I believe in a concept called a risorgimento. A risorgimento.
Okay. What language is that?
That's Italian.
Okay.
And it was coined in the 19th century by an Italian freedom fighter called Garibaldi, fighting to unite a disparate Italy from principalities to a nation state. And he recognised that was his dream, and he recognised that he would never complete it in his lifetime. But he was planting trees for his grandchildren to sit in the shade under.
Unite Italy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another analogy might be a guy starts building a cathedral. It will take 3 generations, so his grandson will complete it. He'll never see it, And so I'd like to see a beautiful planet still for my children and grandchildren.
May I ask, do you have children?
I have a daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. She's 23.
Did that change? Wow.
Yeah, I love her very much.
Did that change your outlook on life, having children? Did that make you care more about the environment, or were you always passionate about it?
I've come to be more passionate later in life. Invariably having a child changes your world, and it does change your focus and your responsibilities and what have you. And yes, absolutely.